CEO Richard Sterling is standing under the glare of ballroom stage lights, sweating through his custom suit in front of angry, high-net-worth investors. Novatech Solutions is on the verge of an IPO, and these investors flew in expecting a live demonstration of the company's core AI model. If the stage screen stayed dark, the company defaults on a $1.5 billion breach of contract penalty. Desperate, Sterling grips the microphone and tells the restless crowd that a rogue employee, his former CTO, maliciously wiped the company's servers before storming out. The investigation into the blank screens revealed a disaster caused by office politics and a dangerous disregard for technical reality, a catastrophe that can be traced back to a pair of office slippers. Exactly 1 week earlier, CTO Sarah Jenkins opened the door to the IT department and hit a wall of suffocating heat. The usual hum of the server room was gone. Instead, there was dead silence, the smell of burnt electronics, and the frantic flashing of a UPS backup power alarm. Inside, the heavy anti-static glass door was propped open. Over at the main electrical panel, the protective cover had been smashed completely off with a fire safety hammer, and the main circuit breaker was pulled all the way down. The 1 a.m. security footage shows the culprit, Chloe Adams, a new intern, drifting through the dark office in her slippers. She's seen complaining to the camera before using a fire hammer to smash through the breaker box's security cover. Chloe viewed the IT department as a collection of lazy, entitled energy wasters who had previously offended her by asking her to perform menial tasks. She calculated that cutting their power would simultaneously save the company $12,000 a month and take the tech guys down a notch by forcing a reboot. By attempting to execute this petty, performative cost-cutting measure, she instantly vaporized 3 straight weeks of continuous machine learning computations. A consumer laptop is designed to handle an occasional power loss, but enterprise-grade server architecture operates differently. These systems run under a massive, continuous read and write load that generates significant physical inertia. When the power is abruptly cut, the mechanical read heads lose their cushion of air while the disks are still spinning at top speed. They physically drop and crash into the storage arrays, carving a deep, permanent scratch across the physical disk. This physical trauma makes the data unrecoverable. The disk platters are literally shattered, meaning even the most advanced forensic software cannot reconstruct the lost files. Rebuilding the AI model from scratch takes exactly 32 days of constant processing. This is a hard mathematical limit based on available computing power, not a deadline that can be shortened through overtime or management pressure. CEO Richard Sterling, who viewed IT as a simple utility like a light bulb, dismissed the hardware damage entirely. He insisted that if the servers were broken, a street corner repair shop could surely pull the data for $50. VP Marcus Thorne, the CEO's brother-in-law, successfully reframed Chloe's sabotage as a virtuous act of energy conservation. He convinced Sterling that Sarah Jenkins and her IT team were simply bullying a loyal intern for being more concerned with the company's bottom line than they were. Buying into this victim narrative, Sterling docked the technical team's bonuses by 50% to pay Chloe emotional compensation. He then issued a final ultimatum. The IT team had to perform the 32-day rebuild over a single 48-hour weekend, or they would all be fired. Realizing the company was doomed by its own leadership, Sarah Jenkins drafted a 5-page liability waiver. It detailed the physical destruction caused by Chloe and Sarah's own warnings of the impending breach of contract. Sterling signed it to get her out of his office, and the moment the ink was dry, Sarah resigned and joined rival Vanguard Innovations. Sterling had created a culture where loyalty to his ego was more important than technical competence. By rewarding an intern's destructive ignorance, he had effectively authorized the total and complete bankruptcy of his own firm. Back at the roadshow, Sterling's attempt to use a cheap web developer to rebuild the complex AI model had failed. He was left standing on stage with no data, no demo, and a ballroom full of increasingly hostile investors. Just as Sterling attempted to pin the blame on Sarah for maliciously deleting data, the ballroom doors opened. Sarah Jenkins walked in, not as an employee, but as the lead technical advisor for the primary investors. Sarah distributed copies of the signed liability waiver to every investor in the room. The documents revealed Sterling had personally exonerated the person who smashed the servers, while penalizing the experts who tried to prevent the crash. The investors immediately pulled their funding, triggering the $1.5 billion penalty and forcing Novatek into bankruptcy. Within a week, the company's remaining distribution channels were sold to Sarah's new firm, Vanguard Innovations, for a fraction of their value. In bankruptcy court, the liability waivers Sarah forced Sterling to sign became the primary evidence of gross negligence. While Chloe made only $4,000 a month, the court held her personally liable for $3.2 million in direct hardware and data recovery losses. In the digital economy, the greatest existential threat to an enterprise isn't a powerful competitor. It is a management team that prizes sycophancy over the physical realities of the technology they are trying to sell.